A dude gets shot in the foot. His wound stinks so bad, like genuinely putrid, that his entire army abandons him on an island for 10 years. And then they come crawling back, because turns out he's the only one who can win the war. Welcome to the Trojan War, where the heroes are petty, the gods are worse, and everyone's got serious anger management issues. For the ancient Greeks, the Trojan War wasn't just any old battle. This was the battle, the Bronze Age Super Bowl. Greeks versus Trojans, glory versus doom. And it all kicked off because one guy, Paris, couldn't keep his hands off another man's wife. Today we're diving into the 13 greatest Greek warriors who fought at Troy. These aren't your Marvel heroes. No capes, no happy endings, just blood, betrayal, and the occasional god messing with your day because you looked at them wrong. Let's meet the legends. 1. Achilles, the unkillable rage monster. Achilles is the guy, the poster boy, the final boss of Greek heroes. His mom, a literal sea goddess, dipped him in the river Styx as a baby to make him invincible, but she held him by the heel. Oops. So Achilles grows up to be the greatest fighter alive, with one tiny Achilles heel, literally. Here's where it gets wild. At the height of the war, Achilles straight up quits. Not injured, not scared, just mad at his boss, Agamemnon, for stealing his girl. So he sits in his tent, pouting, while his friends die. Then his best friend Patroclus borrows his armor, goes to fight, and gets killed by Hector, the Trojan prince. Achilles snaps! He storms back into battle wearing armor forged by the god Hephaestus himself, goes full berserker mode, kills hundreds of Trojans, fights a literal river god, and finally takes down Hector in single combat. Then, and this is the messed up part, he drags Hector's corpse around the city walls for days. Eventually, Paris shoots him in the heel with an arrow, with a little divine help from Apollo, and that's it. Game over for the greatest warrior who ever lived. The takeaway? Even legends have one fatal flaw, and sometimes it's as dumb as a heel. 2. Agamemnon, the boss. Everyone hates. Agamemnon is the king of Mycenae and commander of the Greek army. He's powerful, he's ruthless, and he's kind of a terrible person. Before the war even starts, he insults the goddess Artemis, so she stops the winds. The entire fleet is stuck. The gods demand a sacrifice to fix it. So Agamemnon sacrifices his own daughter, Iphigenia, just to get the boats moving. His wife Clytemnestra? Yeah, she doesn't forget that. Fast forward 10 years. The Greeks finally win. Agamemnon sails home a hero, and his wife murders him in the bath with an axe, along with her lover. Moral of the story, don't sacrifice your kids, and maybe don't steal other people's war prizes either. 3. Menelaus, the guy. This whole mess started for poor Menelaus. His wife Helen runs off with Paris, a Trojan prince, and suddenly he's got to rally all of Greece to get her back. In the Iliad, Menelaus actually challenges Paris to a one-on-one duel, and he's winning until the goddess Aphrodite literally poofs Paris away in a cloud of mist to save him. Imagine that. You're about to end the war. Solo, and a god just yoinks your opponent out of existence. Eventually, Menelaus gets Helen back after a long journey that takes him all the way to Egypt. But you've got to wonder, was it worth it, my guy? 4. Odysseus, the smartest guy in the room, and he knows it. If Achilles is the muscle, Odysseus is the brain. This dude is so crafty he tried to dodge the draft by pretending to be insane, plowing fields with salt. But they caught him, and he ended up being the MVP of the entire war. Odysseus is the guy who orchestrates secret raids behind enemy lines, steals a sacred statue from a Trojan temple, convinces the son of Achilles to join the fight, and oh yeah, invents the Trojan Horse, the most famous trick in military history. After the war, his journey home takes 10 years. Monsters, witches, angry gods, one-eyed giants. Odysseus survives it all with pure wit and audacity. If you ever feel like you're having a bad day, just remember, at least Poseidon isn't personally trying to drown you. 5. Patroclus, the tragic best friend. Patroclus is Achilles' ride or die. His best friend, his emotional support. When Achilles refuses to fight, Patroclus borrows his armor and leads the troops himself. He's a beast on the battlefield, kills a ton of Trojans, even takes down the hero Sarpedon. But then he gets cocky, he pushes too far, and the god Apollo himself helps Hector kill him. Achilles finds out, and the rest is bloody history. No way moment. Achilles literally holds funeral games for Patroclus, like ancient Greek Olympics. In the middle of a war, for his dead best friend. That's love, rage, and chaos all in one package. 6. Ajax the Greater, the tank. If Achilles is the damage dealer, Ajax is the tank. This guy is massive, built like a fortress, carries a shield the size of a door, and he's basically unkillable. Never gets wounded once in the entire Iliad. He's the defense, the anchor, the guy who holds the line when everyone else is running for their lives. He fights Hector to a draw in a duel that lasts an entire day. When the Trojans attack the Greek ships, Ajax single-handedly holds them off. But here's the tragic twist. After Achilles dies, there's a contest for his legendary armor. Ajax thinks he deserves it. Odysseus wins it instead. Ajax loses his mind. He slaughters a bunch of livestock thinking they're his enemies, thanks to Athena messing with him. When he realizes what he's done, he falls on his own sword. The strongest warrior, never wounded in battle, dies by his own hand because his pride was hurt. That's Greek tragedy. 7. Diomedes, the young hero who wounded gods. Diomedes is the youngest of the major heroes, but don't let that fool you. This kid is fearless. During one insane day of fighting, Diomedes nearly kills the Trojan hero Aeneas. Yes, that Aeneas, future founder of Rome. Stabs the goddess Aphrodite when she tries to save her son. And wounds Ares, the literal god of war. Read that again. A mortal stabbed 2 gods in one day. Athena basically gave him permission, but still, dude's got guts. After the war, Diomedes goes home to find his wife has turned against him. So he's exiled. He sails to Italy and finds 10 new cities. Not a bad retirement plan. 8. Nestor, the old guy who won't stop talking. Nestor is ancient, like really old. Too old to fight, so he just talks a lot. Every time someone asks for advice, Nestor launches into a 20-minute story about back in my day when I fought centaurs and did this amazing thing. Homer low-key roasts him for this. Nestor's advice is often outdated, but he's such a smooth talker everyone just nods along. Fun fact, Nestor is the only Greek leader who gets home safely after the war with 0 issues. No storms, no curses, no murdered by your wife situations. Maybe talking is a superpower. 9. Idomeneus, the guy who made a very bad promise. Idomeneus, king of Crete, is a solid warrior. Kills 20 Trojans, holds his own. But on his way home, his ships hit a massive storm. Desperate, he makes a deal with Poseidon. Save me, and I'll sacrifice the first thing I see when I get home. Guess who greets him at the dock? His son. Idomeneus keeps his word. Sacrifices the kid. The gods, angered by this, send a plague. His people exile him. Lesson learned. Never make vague promises to gods. They will hold you to it. 10. Macon, the healer. Not all heroes swing swords. Machaon is the son of Asclepius, god of healing, and he's the team medic. His most clutch moment, healing a guy named Telephus who had been wounded by Achilles' spear. The wound wouldn't heal until Machaon used rust from the same spear to cure it. Ancient Greek medicine, ladies and gentlemen. Have you tried rust? Telephus was so grateful he guided the Greeks to Troy. Machaon gets killed later in the war, but without him, the Greeks might never have found Troy in the first place. 11. Ajax, the lesser, the fast, furious, and doomed. Not to be confused with the big Ajax. This Ajax is smaller but fast, second only to Achilles in speed. He's also kind of a monster. During the sack of Troy, he drags the princess Cassandra out of a temple and assaults her. The goddess Athena is furious. On his way home, Athena strikes his ship with lightning. He survives, clings to a rock, and screams at the gods in defiance. So Poseidon splits the rock in half and drowns him. Sometimes you really do mess with the wrong gods. 12. Teucer, the archer. Teucer is the greatest archer in the Greek army. He's also Ajax the Greater's half-brother, which makes his story even sadder. He teams up with Ajax during battle. Ajax holds the giant shield. Teucer shoots from cover. It's a deadly combo. He tries to snipe Hector multiple times, but Apollo keeps redirecting his arrows. Trolled by a god, classic. When Ajax dies, Teucer tries to protect his body, but fails to recover his armor. His dad banishes him for coming home without his brother. So Teucer sails to Cyprus and finds a new city. New place, new life. Sometimes you've got to start over. 13. Philoctetes, the abandoned archer with the god-tier bow. Remember that guy I mentioned at the start? The one who got ditched on an island because his wound smelled too bad? That's Philoctetes. Years earlier, the hero Heracles was dying in agony and built himself a funeral pyre. Only Philoctetes was brave enough to light it. In return, Heracles gave him his legendary bow, arrows dipped in hydra venom. Instant death. On the way to Troy, Philoctetes gets bitten by a snake. The wound reeks. It's so bad. Odysseus convinces everyone to abandon him on the island of Lemnos. 10 years have passed. Then a prophecy drops. Troy will never fall without the bow of Heracles. The Greeks sail back, find Philoctetes still alive and very salty, convince him to join them, heal his wound, and he goes on to kill Paris, the guy who started the whole war. The irony? The man they left to die became the one who ended it all. So there you have it. 13 warriors, 13 wild stories, and one brutal, bloody, legendary war. But here's the thing, we didn't even cover the Trojan heroes, Hector, Aeneas, Paris guys, who were just as fierce, just as tragic, and in some cases, just as doomed. Should we cover their side of the story next? Drop a comment, smash that subscribe button, because tomorrow we're diving into even darker myths, stranger legends, and the kind of history they don't teach in school. Stay curious, stay weird, and remember, never make promises to gods. Never insult a goddess, and for the love of Zeus, check your armor for weak spots. See you next time.